Good afternoon, Musketeers. It's April 29th, 2016. I'm Grant Vance.
And I'm Amira Savani, and this is Xavier News.
From the Xavier University Television Studio, this is Xavier News. Your campus, your region, your world. This is Xavier News.
As the year comes to a close, be sure to re-up your meal plan before Hoff Dining Commons switches up the menu this fall. All changes are the product of suggestions from the Xavier student body and auxiliary services. As Hoff Dining Commons looks to continue Xavier's plans for sustainability, paper-to-go cups will no longer be offered. In their place will be a hot-cold thermos provided to students with a meal plan at the beginning of next semester. The cafeteria will also be the recipient of structural changes that will reduce food waste while further customizing the experience for each student. For any questions or suggestions, contact auxiliary services through social media.
CEO of Priceline Darren Houston resigned from the company yesterday due to an affair with an employee. The travel agency did not reveal the employee, but it was someone who was not directly supervised by Houston. Due to his failure to comply with the company's conduct code, Houston will not receive any severance payments. 16-year Priceline employee Jeffrey Boyd will take over as the interim CEO and president. Boyd held the chairman position prior to the incident. Matthew 25 Ministries is a nonprofit organization here in Cincinnati that specializes in disaster relief across the globe. Xavier News' Cameron Stansberry has a story on what this special organization is all about.
Matthew 25 Ministries is a nonprofit organization dedicated to living out the mission of the book of Matthew chapter 25, verses 34 to 40, by providing nutritional food to the hungry, clean water to the thirsty, clothing to the naked, affordable shelter to the homeless, medical care to the ill, and humanitarian supplies to those in need.
Probably the most impactful thing for me is, when we go to these disaster locations, we're bringing them supplies, things that we take for granted on a daily basis, a toothbrush, toothpaste, something like that. But at the same time, we're bringing them hope. And so that, that's pretty impactful that, these supplies are great, but to know that somebody in Cincinnati, took the time to prepare these supplies, to donate them, and our volunteers packaging them, and then we bring them to them. It brings a smile to people's faces, and we hope that it has a lasting impact on them, not just from the product standpoint, but also them personally in such a time of need. So to be able to kind of be the hands that take that to them is very impactful.
Through the reuse of products from major corporations and manufacturers, the organization is able to provide necessities and disaster relief to those suffering across the globe.
Working at Matthew 25 Ministries is an experience that impacts everything about me. I know when I get up in the morning and come into work that every minute that I'm here, every phone call I take, every email I answer, every decision that I make, every action that I take is actually having a benefit to somebody somewhere here in the United States or somewhere in the world.
Founder and president of Matthew 25, Reverend Wendell Meddy, says we can care for a needy world with the things we throw away. We believe in extending a helping hand because it is only when a person's most basic needs are met that one can become self-reliant. Reporting for Xavier News, this is Cameron Stansberry.
Filmmaking icon Alfred Hitchcock is remembered today for the 36th anniversary of his death. Hitchcock is best known for his innovative approach to the art, producing unpredictable, suspenseful pictures for years to come. Hitchcock primarily made thrillers, his most popular works including Psycho, Rear Window, North by Northwest, and The Birds. Hitchcock's stylistic techniques and dry wit live on through his influence.
Will Ferrell, known for his hilarious impersonation as George W. Bush on Saturday Night Live, among many other prolific roles, is moving on to impersonating another former president. The comedian will be taking on the role of Ronald Reagan in the upcoming film Reagan. The movie will begin at the start of his second term in office when dementia started to affect the late commander-in-chief. Many are upset and see this project as making light of Alzheimer's disease. Several folks have gone to Twitter to express their outrage, saying Ferrell should be ashamed and that Alzheimer's is not a joke. Ferrell will reportedly be a producer for the film as well. Cincinnati is home to many green spaces, one of the most famous being the historic Mill Creek. Eli Bedell goes to the nonprofit Groundwork Cincinnati to learn more about the restoration of this fragile ecosystem.
The Mill Creek watershed has historically been used as a means for waste disposal by Cincinnati industries, damaging the fragile ecology of this biodiverse corridor. Luckily, nonprofit groups like Groundwork Cincinnati have been working hard to restore the environmental health of Mill Creek.
Groundwork is a collection of trusts across the nation, and we are Groundwork Cincinnati. There are 22 other trusts, I believe. All of us try to improve the quality of life of the people in the area that we work using environmental initiatives.
The reason that Groundwork Cincinnati came into existence was back in 92 or 3, GE had a spill on the Mill Creek. And part of the solution that they came up with the Ohio EPA and the EPA was to divert some of the funds from their cleanup to establish almost like a watchdog type organization, which Groundwork Cincinnati became.
The Mill Creek historically is basically the industrial backbone or the heart of Cincinnati. That's why it's called the Mill Creek. So there used to be mills all along the river that powered industry. It's also famous for slaughterhouses and Pig City and such, and they say that the river would run red with the blood from slaughtered pigs.
It's really important because we've polluted it for the last 150 years, and back in 97 it was classified as the most endangered urban waterway in the country, a wonderful distinction to have bestowed upon any municipality.
We plant native trees and shrubs and forbs and grasses, so replant, reforest with native species. And we also try to regrade stream banks and try to prevent erosion. In this process, we try to take out invasive species like honeysuckle, which is a huge environmental disaster in our area. And then we also focus on edible forest gardening. So as part of our trail, our Mill Creek Greenway Trail, we're reforesting, then we're also producing food and habitat for humans and animals alike. We can see life coming back already in the Mill Creek and some of our restored work sites. We try to help youth especially develop a sense of pride and stewardship for our home.
I work with our education program, so I'm the director of education. We work with different school programs throughout the year, 15 to 20 different schools on average each year, 800 to 1,000 kids every year, where we're educating them about the Mill Creek. We're gearing up for our summer green team, which is really a fun kind of way youth in the city can get paid to come and learn about the Mill Creek, learn about restoration through hands-on service learning type projects.
We do offer internships for Xavier students and any university students, so if you want to get involved, we usually have semester internships.
I started here, I think, around November of 2015, and so I've done a lot of stuff with them with their honeysuckle and doing stuff. I do a lot of stuff reaching out as well as finding volunteers and finding people to fundraise.
We're trying to reconnect people to the Mill Creek and to the watershed as a whole. So it's not just a blighted corridor, it is an actual life source of water and a really important resource for the city as a whole.
If you would like to get involved with Groundwork Cincinnati or volunteer at Mill Creek, please email groundworkcincinnati.org or call their main office. Reporting for Xavier News, this is Eli Beadle.
Enjoy delicious food, loud music noises, and air guitaring with your peers where you usually walk to class? Welcome to Xavier Fest, Xavier's premier annual rock show. Headlining this year is Canadian reggae band Magic, with openers Lauren Ide, the Philharmonic, DNK, and My Body Sings Electric. Vendors will include everything from Skyline Chili to UDF. What a treat. Xavier Fest will begin at 4 with Lauren End. Mosh your heart out, Xavier.
Tonight marks a very special night for electronic media and DIFT seniors. There will be a screening of their short films in Kennedy Auditorium in the Conneton Learning Commons. Each senior has worked very hard throughout the school year on these productions. Each film focuses on a special issue ranging from learning disabilities to substance abuse to the foster care system. There will also be a documentary showcasing the good works of Xavier's sister Rose. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. and the films begin promptly at 7. Here's SAO Brema with a look at what they're doing.
The Music Resource Center in Cincinnati provides a space where teens can come together and learn about music. They learn how to play musical instruments and how to use a recording studio. But the MRC offers a lot more than just musical training.
It's important to focus on aspects other than music in the kids' lives, because music is just a small part. It's how we connect with kids. It's how we interact with them here. But it's so much more. It's a gateway to be able to talk to them about what's going on at home, what's going on at school.
One thing I like about the Music Resource Center is the sense of community that it has. Everybody here is like a family, and everybody here is pretty close.
A lot of people here is really nice and stuff. I like talking to people and stuff. I like meeting new people, meeting new friends.
They can help with different projects if you need to, and they provide a space to even let you do your homework.
We have a couple of members that have mentors, and they go do things together. They'll go to museums, they'll go to movies and just kind of do, positive, fun stuff together.
If anybody remembers going to high school, they'll remember, bullying and how stressful tests are, and it's important to be able to talk to kids about those aspects because that's what they experience on a daily basis.
When I first came here, I was really nervous because I never done it before and stuff. And now, like a couple of months later, right now, I'm really getting into it, the music.
The relationship that I have with my mentors here is very close. Talk to them about everything, and they help me through all my problems, so we're pretty close.
I've never had a position like this before where I'm, working with kids day in and day out, and where the kids end up looking up to you as a role model inherently, and they start liking you, and you can see that, and you can feel it, and it's a good feeling.
The Music Resource Center helped me realize what it is I want to do with my life. I want to go to school for music production, and that's kind of what I want to do. I just want to work in the studio, and MRC has helped me get there to my goals.
They have multiple adults that they can come to and talk to about what they need and what they want and what they need help with, and it creates a family here.
It also allows me to talk amongst very diverse people. They just help me get through the day. I have a pretty tough life at home, and they just help me persevere and get through.
I like to see when a kid comes in and they have a sense of timidity, or they're shy, and then through our program and through us and their peers and friends and the things they're doing here, they kind of break out of their shell, and eventually they're performing on stage, for people, and that's a cool thing to see. So I enjoy that.
Reporting for Xavier News, this is S.A. Brima.
For the very last time from the news desk, I'm Amira.
And I'm Grant.
It's been a great year, and we hope to see you back at the beginning of the fall semester. Now here's sports specialist Connor Muldoon with his last show before he makes it big on ESPN.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final broadcast of the Xavier Sports Report of the year. The Penn Relays is one of the most elite track meets in the country. Typically around 50,000 spectators take in the event, and Xavier is being represented. Yesterday was the first day of competition, and Madeline Britton and Sarah Mazzei had fantastic finishes. Britton ran the 10,000 meter run, posting a time of 34 minutes, 48.93 seconds, which was good enough for fourth place in her heat. Mazet ran the 3,000 meter run, running in the elite heat, meaning the best college runners were her competition, and setting a new school record with a time of 9 minutes, 50.27 seconds, the senior placed sixth. Today, some of the men will compete, including Zachary Polk in the long jump. Now we're going to swing on over to the baseball diamond as Xavier looks to stay hot. The Musketeers will be traveling to Butler for a 3-game set. The Muskies are fresh off a two wins out of 3 games against St. John's last weekend, and will look to do the same starting today at 3 p.m. Zach Lowther is projected to get the start today, while Matt Kent is expected to take the mound on Saturday. And today's game will be broadcast on the Big East Digital Network, while tomorrow's will be nationally televised on Fox College Sports Network. And first pitch tomorrow is at 1 o'clock. Women's tennis earned a number 2 seeding for the Big East tournament, beaten out only by DePaul, and the Lady Musketeers traveled to South Carolina for the tournament, but had a day off yesterday as their seeding bought them a bye. And they started competing this morning against Villanova, who beat Butler yesterday, and just the latest update that we have, Xavier is up 3 in the set, and if they win today, they will compete tomorrow in the semifinals, and the conference championship will take place on Sunday. Well, that's it for the Sports Report today. But I would be remiss if I did not thank all of our viewers. While the Sports Report and Xavier News will return next fall, 4 seniors will not, myself included. And on behalf of Grant Vance, Umera Savani, Nick Bergman, and myself, we thank everyone who tuned in to our broadcast, or at least watched on YouTube later. It's been a blast for all of us these last 4 years, and we will all deeply miss it. We thank all of you for your support, and we thank everyone in the studio for making such a great experience out of Xavier Television. And personally, I hope all of you will turn on your radio or television one day, and you'll hear my voice or see my face on a professional sports broadcast. So, while I may be leaving Xavier and Xavier Television, one thing will always hold true, and that, my friends, is Let's Go X. Have a great summer, everybody.
This is Xavier News.